Hello, everyone. Welcome to Body Bags. I'll be your reviewer for today. I'm Lonnie from Horror Heaven77, and I don't really think that I need to remind you that this is theme week, and we're doing Unearthed films this week. And the one that I picked is the Song of Solomon, filmed in 2017, came out in 2018, and the movie is written and directed by Stephen Biro, who worked on American Guinea Pig, Bouquet of Guts and Gore, and yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. This movie really surprised me. I overall enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a little bit of a breath of fresh air. And the reason why I say that is because, we all know, oh my Lord, there's like so many of these, exorcism movies. It seems like there's almost a new one coming out every week, and they're all rated PG-13 and stuff like that. And this one here, even though it is an exorcism film, it's definitely different in terms of what the story's about. And if you go watch a lot of these exorcism movies, a lot of them, they're, like I said, they're PG-13, and it's almost just, even though this one does have elements of The Exorcist in it, it's not just like, I mean, it's almost like, a lot of these exorcism movies, that's almost what they feel like. It's like, oh, well, hey, here's The Exorcist. Let's just do the same thing, but just kind of do a little bit more watered down version of it. Or, let's cut back on the effects, or let's cut back on this or that or the other thing. And this movie here is, I like the idea behind this movie because personally, to me, it feels like this movie is, what if you had an exorcism movie where just like everything just went completely off the rails, and that's what happens in this movie. And we find out there's a reason why. And I'm sorry, but to get you to understand, I'm gonna have to give a little bit of a spoiler. But so anyway, so the movie begins. We have this young woman named Mary, played by Jessica Cameron, and she's possessed. She's starting to show signs of possession. Her father, he's ranting and raving, sweat pouring down his face. He's got a knife, and, I pay for your living and all this other kind of stuff. And how could you do this to me and all this? And he ends up cutting his throat and then reaching in and pulling his tongue out through the wound in his neck. And one thing I gotta say, the gore in this movie is off the charts, which, hey, I'm not complaining, but, the gore effects are fantastic. You got the combination of both autopsy effects and Toetag. So, you got some good quality stuff going on here in terms of the special effects. But so anyway, getting back to the story, some time has passed, and Mary, she's found wandering around in the road by her mom. And so it's like, she's talking to a family counselor, and the counselor is like trying to talk to Mary and trying to get her to, reveal like what's going on. And Mary, like, it's like she'll blink her eyes, like 1 second she'll have like one pupil, and then, she'll blink in the two and then three and all this other kind of stuff. So the idea is to, is to give you the idea that she's possessed by, many, many demons. And so he's like, yeah, I'm just a family counselor. I can't do anything for you and all this kind of stuff. And so, he's all like, yeah, you're just going to have to look somewhere else, talk to a doctor or whatever else. So he leaves. But at the same time, we find out that there's kind of like the archbishop, I guess, and or the cardinal. He's looking for. He's got these certain priests that he wants to go do an exorcism on Mary. And the first one, they don't really give the names of the priests, or if they did, I must have missed that part. I'm sorry, but anyway, you got a Father Marin type of priest who's played by Jim Van Beber. We all know Jim Van Beber. Deadbeat at Dawn and Manson Family, so on. What was it? Satan's Little Help? Was it Satan's Little Helper? I don't remember. It was something about Satan. Anyway, but so they go to him, and he's all like, yeah, I can't really do this and stuff. So they talk to him, and he agrees he's going to go do the exorcism and everything. And so he goes, and there's a young priest there. So it's kind of almost like a Father Marin, Father Karras type of situation. And I'm not going to give too much away, but let's just say things don't exactly go as planned. And then so another priest is called in, who's actually this guy right here. And this guy looks, Stephen Biro, who wrote and directed the movie, he admitted that, like the reason he cast this guy, because this guy just has a naturally just pissed off look about him. He's a nice guy, but he just always has this like really mean, just really intense look about it. And that's why he wanted him for the part. And so he goes in, and one part I couldn't help it. It just made me bust out laughing. Was that when he goes in and he's seeing like all the chaos that's going on, and like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but then the Mary, she's on the bed and everything else, and so he looks to her and he's all like, yeah, could you tell me where they left off? I'm sorry, that part made me laugh. I don't know if that was intentionally funny or unintentionally funny, but it made me laugh. It got a chuckle out of me. But anyway, so yeah, the movie, and then just like more and more stuff is going on. And then so, they bring in another priest and this priest here, which honestly, something until I watched the interview with Stephen Biro, I didn't know this, but apparently this is actually a thing, is that if a priest goes in and performs an exorcism, supposedly if they fail, if they lose the exorcism, then as far as the church is concerned and everything, the priests who failed, their soul is damned to hell for eternity. I didn't know that. It's like just, yeah, I mean, just wow. I never knew that until I saw this. But anyway, though, yeah. But really, you come to find out that what the whole situation is that these priests, one thing you notice is like the cardinal or the bishop, he keeps bringing in priests, and they all have the same thing. They're all like priests who are doubting their faith. They don't have a very strong feeling that they can go in there and do the job and win the exorcism and things like that. But then, I'm sorry, but spoiler alert, but we find out that the thing is like they don't want the priest to win. As a matter of fact, the whole point is that this whole thing is to fulfill a prophecy. And the prophecy being is that the Antichrist needs to be born, and the Antichrist needs to rule on earth for 7 years so that Jesus can come and save everybody, and the second coming of Christ. So it's definitely an interesting take on an exorcism movie, and I found that very interesting. So I never heard of that idea in an exorcism film before, so I thought that was really good. But I got to be honest, some of the acting is really kind of oof. But some of the dialogue, like I said, like that there where the exorcist turns to the demon is like, yeah, could you tell me where they left off? But some of the dialogue is a little silly and everything, but some of the acting is a little off. But overall, it is a good film. It's beautifully shot. I mean, this movie looks amazing. They shot it in Florida, and they actually managed to find a beautiful like cabin and everything else. And the gore effects are amazing. You got some of the best gore. You got all kinds of good stuff. You got eye gouging. You got it's like one part. I'm sorry, I've already said spoiler alert, but like one part I thought was really interesting. That is one of the priests. He's performing the exorcism, and Mary starts throwing up all her guts. And at first, I have to admit, I was kind of like, "Oh, really? I guess you're going to sit here and say, like, wow, you had to pay homage to Lucio Fulci, City of the Living Dead and all that other kind of stuff." Because, yeah, we've seen the throwing up the guts before in City of the Living Dead, Gates of Hell. But, to one up that, she turns around and she takes the guts and starts putting them back in. After she throws them up, she takes like her liver, she puts it back in, and her intestines and everything. So I was like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. That was, all right, that one-upped it for me. So I thought that was really good. But, yeah, there's not much more I could say without giving away too much. But, yeah, so it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want gore, I promise this movie will deliver on the gore. So gore is not an issue. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh, it's probably not going to be very blatant. No, I promise you, this movie is bloody as hell. It's bloody, it's gory, all kinds of good stuff. Some interesting special effects. I don't think that there's one special effect in this movie that was, half-assed or anything. All the effects in this movie are, they're primo. They're really good. Yeah, so I highly recommend this movie. And like I said, it's definitely interesting. I like I thought that was an interesting idea. The idea that these priests are actually basically being, lambs led to the slaughter because it's making way, they're paving way for the birth of the Antichrist so that, the Antichrist can rule on earth for 7 years so that Jesus can it can ignite the second coming of Jesus. I thought that was an interesting take on it. So yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. Song of Solomon. I'm sorry to say though, like this movie was supposed to be a sorry, that's my alarm. But yeah, but this movie is supposed to have been part of the American Guinea Pig series, but apparently Stephen Biro said that they took the American Guinea Pig title off of it because they, said that they wanted this movie to sell, and they figured with the name American Guinea Pig on there, it was going to frighten people away. So sad. So, but the movie is supposed to be part of the American Guinea Pig series. But anyway, yeah, I say, if you want, if you like an exorcism movie with a twist and some good hardcore gore and everything else, I say definitely check out Song of Solomon. This movie's a lot of fun, and it is. I mean, especially if you're tired of all these humdrum PG-13 exorcism movies that seem like Hollywood's churning out every week. Definitely give this one a watch. I think you really enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Body Bags channel. We got a different reviewer for every day of the week. I'm the Saturday reviewer, and so anyways, so enjoy the rest of the theme week, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night, and see you later.